network, his employer, any of the universities he attended, his family and friends, or former roommates, any of the 5 temptations, the 4 tops, or any number of the pips. They may or may not reflect those of the other voices in his head. His dog, however, agrees with him 100%. And now, broadcasting from Venture X Studios in Frisco, Texas, it's the Snarky Parenthetical. Here's your host. He's highly caffeinated and mildly irritated. Here's Lathan Watts.
All right. Welcome back to the Snarky Parenthetical. Glad to have everybody back. We will do our best to be a little more disciplined this week. We kind of let it get away from us a little last week. You got a jumbo episode last week.
Hey, we blessed the people last week.
Hey, nearly an hour, right? So if you listened to last week, just rest assured we're going to try to keep it to our typical 30 minutes. But go on the Snarky Parenthetical, go to our Facebook page. Tell me, what do you like better? Half hour? Hour? Let's get some feedback.
There you go. Yeah.
So let's get into it. This week, the show is brought to you by Greendale Community College. The human beings. Fine educational institution that it is. They have at least one famous alum that I'm aware of, an actor, Mr. Guzman. I can't remember if is it Jose or is that a baseball player?
I think that's a baseball player.
Yeah. Now people are going to accuse me of being a racist for immediately going to, was it Jose or Juan or sorry, I just don't remember the guy's name. Okay.
It was one of those for sure.
Yeah.
And the dean is a little eccentric, by the way, but he
a
means
little bit.
Well.
He does mean well. Yes, he is on your side.
That's right.
For sure. So there you go, Greendale Community College, the human beings.
Appreciate them.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into some news stories from this week. The first one I want to talk about, one that made some headlines, was Jeff Bezos and his successful launch into space.
That's right.
So we popped up a picture here just to give you sort of a side-by-side comparison of Mr. Bezos' rocket and Dr. Evil's rocket. I'm not going to tell you which one is which. You decide for yourself. Jeff Bezos might possibly be the real-life Dr. Evil. The first thing that I thought of when I saw all the attention being paid to this launch was, did he steal this rocket design from Dr. Evil? That was my first instinct. Now, there's a lot of jokes you can make about these visuals. Most of the ones that are probably instinctive to me might get me an FCC fine. So I'm going to let you just sort of fill in your own jokes. Just, knock yourself out. But, paging Dr. Freud. We may have an issue Mr. Bezos needs to discuss with you. That's...
I'll tell you what, if you're having trouble writing in your own jokes, just go to Twitter. Twitter's got them all.
Yeah, that's for sure.
They got them all.
It's one of those times when Twitter is actually useful.
Oh, yes.
Occasionally it comes in handy. Most of the time it's just the intellectual sewer of America. I would just say just avoid it at all costs. But once in a while they come through. You can go ahead and take that picture off there. I can't look at that. Yeah, there's only so many giant phallic symbols I can have in my general vicinity. But the thing about this story to me, though, I saw a bunch of people, hating on Bezos, and Branson and these other billionaires, like, why don't you spend your money on something useful, blah, blah, blah. And I don't care. I mean, you got the money. You want to, build a rocket ship and go hang out in space for all of like 3 minutes. It's your money. I don't care about that part. The part that really bugged me was, why is this news? Like, we've already been to the moon and back. Like, it's not like he did something that nobody else has done. Like, he barely got into space. Okay, he was up there for like 3 minutes, floated around,
kind of scraped it just on the edge there.
Yeah. I mean, nowhere near outer space, right? I mean, he's barely, like, we have already done this as a people, right? Mm-hmm. As a species, we have already sent men into space. We've already orbited the Earth. We've already made it to the moon and back successfully. Why is this news? Because he just spent his money and did it himself.
Right.
Like when this guy lands on Mars before NASA does, that's news. Okay, if one of these billionaires gets ahead of NASA on a long-term space flight to another planet, that is newsworthy.
Right.
Just because you spent a bunch of your own money to go float for 3 minutes is not really news to me. And it was like wall-to-wall coverage.
Right.
All over the networks, Fox News, everything.
That's a good point.
It's like we're going backwards.
It's really not remarkable. Yeah.
Like we're celebrating somebody barely making it into space.
Right.
Like next week, there's going to be a great news story about Richard Branson inventing the airplane.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
He already owns an airline. Right?
Yep.
Like, why are we making steps backwards in progress? Mm-hmm. Like, it'd be one thing if like Bezos was opening up a distribution center on the moon. Like,
right.
And maybe that's part of his evil plan. Who knows?
There you go.
Because he is apparently the modern day equivalent of Dr. Evil. Mm-hmm. So maybe he's just going to start dropping packages from the moon, like asteroids, directly on your front lawn. Just bang, there it is.
It makes a lot of sense. There's already the droid deliveries.
Yeah,
he's got going on. So
yep, it's the rise of the machines. I'm telling you, Terminator 2.
Yep,
this was all predicted.
These are this shouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I was mildly irritated about like this isn't news.
Yeah,
we've already done this.
Why are we covering
Why is
it
this
like
a big
it's remarkable?
Deal? Yeah.
Elon Musk made a refrigerator.
Right.
Would anyone cover that headline?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
Is it just because these guys are famous and super wealthy that now we have to
celebrate everything that they quote discover? Like when I was going to invent the wheel.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Been there, done that. Not newsworthy. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I found that a little odd. Another news story from the week. So that's sort of our halfway serious news story, I guess. Here's the other one. This one caught my eye. Again, hat tip to the smoking gun. Love these guys. There it is. Naked Florida woman, 42, busted for skinny dipping in stranger's pool.
Okay.
Again, thank you for including Florida in the headline, so I don't have to panic when I read something. I know it's Florida.
Seems to be a recurring theme.
Yep. Florida is just the absolute. It's just strange things going on in Florida constantly.
Yeah.
There's lots
really
of stuff
is.
like this. This one, if you scroll down on that story a little bit, you got the mugshot there towards the bottom of the page. Bang.
Ooh.
There you go.
Okay.
Undeniable rule. One of Lathan Watt's undeniable truths in life. People that you don't really want to see naked insist on being naked.
That's the way it seems to be, isn't it?
I don't get it. Like people that, and I'm not saying like I'm a specimen of the male figure, all right, but it's like the people that really could be sort of proud of their physique are typically not ones to just go off and flaunt it, show it off to everybody,
right?
And it's the people that are like, maybe you might ought to cover up a little bit. They got no problem. Mm-hmm. Loud and proud out there in front of God and everybody.
Oh yeah.
And so
they'll put it all out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was on a cruise one time. They had multiple swimming pools on the cruise ship, right?
Oh,
and one like with kids, one without kids. Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking for that one for the pool without kids.
Right.
Unbeknownst to me, my hand on a stack of Bibles. This was unintentional. One of the pools in the adults only area was also clothing optional.
Okay.
And I stumbled upon this, and let me just say, that may be where the germ of the idea of the undeniable truth in life came from. That it's the folks that, maybe they're the ones just out there, out there for everybody to see. Just like whoa.
Which
man.
I can't decide if I just want to run the other way and I can't stand them and don't want to think about them, don't want to associate with them, or if I really admire that confidence level so much that maybe they're really cool people. Because
I don't think it's an either or.
Yeah.
I mean, you could admire the confidence level and still run the other direction. like I don't want to see
true.
it, but God bless you, right?
Right.
But anyway, this lady.
Good for you.
I know this is going to surprise you. This lady apparently only lived a couple of miles away from this guy's house. He was at a doctor's appointment, just comes back and finds this woman in his pool. Calls the cops. They have to come remove her from the premises.
Right.
And apparently she had been arrested before at a traffic stop that yielded morphine, marijuana, crack, and meth.
Wow.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me put my surprised face on.
All the things.
But my favorite, as usual in these sorts of stories, the quotes are the best.
Oh, for sure.
It says the lady denied ownership. We're talking about the drugs in the previous stop. She had denied ownership, claiming that they were the property of, quote, a male by the name of Crackhead Chris.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Which, if you name your son Crackhead Chris, aren't you kind of, handicapping him, for life? Like, is that not a self-fulfilling prophecy? Dude's name is Crackhead Chris. Really? Let's go on the assumption that's a nickname. Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Right. No, they're not mine. They belong to this guy named Crackhead Chris.
Which I'm just wondering if he could be possibly at all related to a fellow that goes by the name of Corn Pop. It seemed like
right.
They might run in the same circles.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah, maybe. Tyrone Biggums.
Yes.
Yeah. One of Chappelle's favorite guys.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, God bless these cops, right? Mm-hmm. You get a call, intruder on my property. You show up, you don't know what to expect,
apparently not
at any call.
Not in Florida. That's for sure.
And these dudes, whatever they're paying them, give them a raise.
It's not enough.
Give them a raise. No defunding of the police in Florida, please, on behalf of all God-fearing property owners with a pool.
Right.
I mean, I get it. It's hot down there, right? I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
But what I don't get is she's a neighbor.
Yeah.
She's a neighbor of his. So she's not, I mean, I'd get it if it was some homeless person maybe just trying to, but that's a little strange to me. Like, you could just have your own pool.
Or possibly make friends with this guy and then ask to come use his pool.
Right.
Right?
Sure. That seems just
logical.
as easy.
Right. I'm not sure her mind is 100% working on logic at this point. Been hanging out with Crackhead Chris too much. Getting one of those contact highs. No, these drugs aren't mine. But I've been hanging out with Crackhead Chris. I mean, that's what you get for hanging out with Crackhead Chris, I guess.
Very true.
You end up looking at the world through a completely different prism. I'm hot. There's a pool. Guess I'm getting in it.
And that is all that goes on in your brain.
Right. Yeah, do not pass go. Just skipped several steps. Just got right to, I'm hot. There's a pool. I'm getting naked and getting in it. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah. So thank you, Florida, for keeping us entertained, if nothing else.
As always.
Just crazy, crazy stuff going on down there.
Yeah.
And like I said, I get it. I mean, it's hot down there, and it's about to get unbearably hot here as well. And this may sound completely un-Southern of me based on previous shows and all the things that I've talked about, things I love about the South. But I can deal with the cold a lot better than I can deal with the heat. At least Southern cold. Like, they got big boy winter up north, like negative 30 and all that nonsense. No, I'm not talking about that. Mm-hmm. But so I can almost sympathize with this lady, the friend of Crackhead Chris. I just like saying that. Because like when it's cold, I can always put on another layer.
Right.
Right? I can always put another log on the fire. Right? When it's hot, there's only so much I can take off and stay within the bounds of being a law-abiding citizen. And I'm still ridiculously hot. Okay? Cold does not make me irritable the way heat does.
Right.
Like, when I get out of, because we're about to get into this point of the summer here. Like, we haven't had a triple-digit day yet, but it's coming. Mm-hmm. And when I get out of the shower in the morning and the mere act of toweling myself off, my forehead has already started to sweat again, just you don't want to be around me the rest of the day. There's no possible way I'm gonna not be just completely ticked off the entire day. Heat makes people do crazy things. This may be like a new legal defense.
There you go. That's true.
Your Honor, it was so hot. It was like get naked and trespass hot. Like that's how hot it was. Like, I'd be open to that argument if I'm on that jury. I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, maybe
you actually got a point here.
Yeah, maybe so.
The drugs, we're gonna have to talk about that.
Right.
But as far as the heat goes,
yeah,
I'll give you one there.
Yeah. Okay. So let's shift gears a little bit. Big news in music today.
Oh yeah.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, the Rolling Stones. The Stones announced they are going on tour again in the fall. On the tour that was supposed to happen last year. Exactly. Yes.
I'm already getting ready.
The tour that was supposed to happen last year that was canceled because of COVID and because Mick had to have surgery and something else. I don't know.
Probably had a baby with his 27-year-old wife or something.
Right. Unbelievable. But the tour has been now rescheduled. They announced it today, and they've announced some of the dates. They got some more coming. I am
awesome.
As close to giddy as I get about this because most people have like a bucket list of things they want to do with their life. Mine, it's not like go skydiving or anything like it. Mine, It is all live music. It's all bucket list bands that I want to see before somebody
100%.
dies.
Yep.
Or, there are plenty that I would have loved to have seen, but, key elements of the band either OD'd before I was born or, something like that. But the Stones have been on my bucket list of live shows to go to for many years. And I had tickets last year. It got canceled. I was just crushed. So I'm over the moon at this announcement. So I'm now basically from now until November, because they're going to be here, I think it said November 2nd. So now, I'm just fingers crossed. Please don't let anybody die in the next 3 to 4 months. Okay.
Right.
So I can finally see these guys live. Right. Or also, please nobody tell Keith Richards that he's actually been dead for probably 30 years. And it is just the buildup of drugs operating his body like Weekend at Bernie's style. And he somehow can still play the riffs, Right. So just nobody tell him, okay? Just do me a favor. Just keep that under your hat for a few more months so I can see this band live and check one of the few remaining on the bucket list that I have not seen.
Yes.
So
that's up there with the biggest you could possibly have.
I mean, when you think of you think about that catalog of songs, and the staying power of that band. I mean, they've been through a couple of lineup changes for sure because people die or whatever. But the core of the band that's been playing together for so long, still playing together, is
it's pretty incredible. Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, it has been decades at least.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the main, Charlie Watts, Mick, Keith, and Ronnie Wood, those four have been the core of that band. I mean, they've got, backup singers and other keyboard players and stuff like that. But that core of the band has been playing, making new music, still, doing all of this, for so long. So this is me giddy. Okay. This is as close to giddy as I get. I am going to see the Stones.
He's doing somersaults inside, folks.
Yes.
It's just
exactly.
You never know it.
So we got a little bit of time left, and I would typically do something that I'm mildly irritated about, but I'm in such a good mood about the Stones show. I don't think that I'm really irritated, too irritated. So,
it's impossible to be irritated.
Not right now. Yeah.
Looking forward to this.
If anything happens between now and then that stops that show from happening, I'm going to be more than mildly irritated. And so just look out.
Tell Keith no hanging out with Crackhead Chris.
Chris, stay out of Florida. I got to check the tour dates. Please God, don't let them be playing Florida before they come here. Because anything could happen.
Yes.
But I will say, one thing that, here's something that's sort of along the lines of mildly irritated. It's not really that big a deal. But when you go to a live show, especially like a stadium show like they're doing, because this show is going to be at the Cotton Bowl.
Okay.
And when you're in a venue that big, there's probably 30, 40,000 people. You know, if you're, towards the back, the stage is typically at one end of the stadium. If you're all the way at the back, you're barely in the same zip code as the band.
Right.
They can't hear you. Okay, so there's no real reason for you to call out the songs that you want to hear, right?
That's a good point.
I have experienced this at other shows, at other stadium shows I've been to, and some dude like right in front of me, or even worse, right behind me, yelling right in my ear, screaming out what he wants to hear. I'm like, do you really think they're gonna hear you? Like,
exactly.
Come on, man. Like,
what do you think you're accomplishing with that?
Yeah.
I mean, most likely they're more than a few beers in.
Oh, for sure.
And
yeah, I did have a lady spill an entire beer right down my back at what show was that? Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Nothing could have ruined that for me, though. Nothing. No, you know what?
You turned around and said, "Thank you."
You know what? Hey, it's all part of the experience. Pour another one.
Right.
Go get you. Like, nothing is going to ruin this show for me. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, come on, man. Like, cheer for the songs. Be happy they played the songs that you want to hear.
Right.
It's the Stones. They've got, a ridiculous catalog. They can't play them all.
Right.
With that, unless somebody comes out there and like with a defibrillator, like after they've been out there for like 6 hours playing.
Yeah. I'll say one thing too that's a little irritating to me nowadays, especially with the bigger shows like that, is the amount of space in between the band and the stage, and then the actual just like where the pit, like the first row is. Yeah,
even the $1 million seats are.
It's crazy.
A long way away from the stage.
Yeah. You could put you could fit an airplane runway in there. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what that's about.
It's weird to me, right? I mean,
and if I paid what you got to pay to get down there, in those first 10 rows,
right?
And I'm still, a football field away from the band, that would not go over well with me.
Yep.
I will pay, a decent amount of money for tickets to a live act that I want to see. The ticket prices are getting a little bit ridiculous.
They sure are.
So, a lot of these shows, I'm way back, I'm way up, so.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping. I've never seen a show at the Cotton Bowl. Stadium shows, the audio is always, you're always a little nervous about how good is the sound going to be. But I saw Paul McCartney at Rangers ballpark, right. That they're now doing concerts at now since they got the new barbecue grill looking baseball stadium.
Right.
And I was pleasantly surprised at how well the show actually sounded in that stadium. So I'm optimistic about this show coming up. Cool. What's on your bucket list of bands?
Well, honestly, the Stones would be on there. So I need to get myself tickets because I was already thinking about doing it when everything started canceling.
I never took the tickets out of my Apple Wallet on my phone. They're still in there. So,
you kept the faith.
I did. I was like, nope, I'm not. I refuse to give in.
Right.
I will not empty this. And sure enough, they're going to honor the old tickets. So.
There you go. Paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they got some new ones. I need to go check it out because for whatever reason, I think I had this perception for a while growing up of just those old bands that it's going to be so lame to go see a show now and
and some of them are. I mean, let's face it. Some of them,
all these
are
old
going
grandpas
on
out there pretending they can still hang with the young boys. But I think the more I've gotten older and really appreciated the music and kind of appreciated the legacy, the more I've grown to have that desire. Just like these are legends,
right?
The likes of which we will likely never see
Yeah, I mean,
ever again.
all the quote newer bands that you like are influenced by these guys.
Exactly.
You know, and so when you discover, these, you quote these old guys, you got a chance to see them do it in person.
Right.
That's to me the draw of live music.
Yeah.
Is even if they play the exact same set list 40 times, in 40 weeks, every concert's a little bit different.
Exactly.
There's always something in a live performance that's just a little bit different than the album version.
Exactly.
He's going to improv something vocally, or Keith's going to play the solo a little different than he did on the album.
Mm-hmm.
And just being in a building with that many people, where you can literally feel the response, like when a song starts. Like
oh yeah.
If you're in some of those old venues, I mean, sometimes like you can actually, you can literally feel it. Like,
right. You actually like you get to the point where you start worrying.
Right.
Yeah.
Is this place structurally sound?
Right.
When was the last time an engineer took a look at this? Yeah.
Yeah. The Cotton Bowl's seen a few.
Oh, it's seen better days.
Yeah. For
sure. Like I was, when they originally announced that's where they were going to play, I was like, really? The Cotton Bowl? Like, why not Cowboy Stadium? You could put a lot more people in there. I imagine Jerry Jones would charge the Stones quite a bit more to play Cowboy Stadium than the Cotton Bowl would. And they're going to clear a whole lot more off those ticket prices at the Cotton Bowl than they would at Cowboy Stadium.
They've gotten frugal in their older years.
Maybe. I mean, how many ex-wives do they all have to support at this point?
Very good point. Yeah.
How many kids does Mick have?
He doesn't know. There's no.
Nope. Mm-mm.
There's no possible way.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, I mean they got bills to pay, right?
There you go.
But I honestly think with some of those acts, they still enjoy doing it, and it's all they've ever known. Like they don't,
right?
Like they don't want to slow down.
Yeah.
Like this is what we do.
Exactly.
It's kind of like if you look at it like any other profession, right? Like my parents, grandparents' generation were more apt to look, this is my job. They did it for 30, 40 years. They retired, right? And many of them at the exact same place. It was just, this is a good job. I'm staying here, and then until I can't work anymore. Mm-hmm. These guys are of that generation.
Right.
This is their job. This is what they do, right? Mm-hmm. As long as they can do it, they're going to keep doing it, I guess. And as long as you're doing it well, go ahead, man. I'm glad. Just hang in there for about 3-4 more months. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for.
We can
just
do
make it to November. Please don't go to Florida first.
Do not. Yeah.
Another band that I had tickets for, concert was canceled because of COVID. Mm-hmm. But they're honoring those tickets and they're back out doing it. Black Crows. Going to see them here in just a few weeks. And that was a band that I did not think that I was going to get to see. I had them on my list. I'm a huge Black Crows fan.
Right.
And I didn't think it would ever happen because two brothers in the band had a falling out. That's usually the end of that. But, 30th anniversary of Shake Your Money Maker, and probably some promoter showed them how much money they could make. And they're like, oh, well, maybe I can get along with my brother for 6 months to a year.
We will shake our money makers.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So I'm excited about that because that was a band that was on my list I didn't think I was going to get to see. And they're going to be here in town here in a few weeks. Actually,
that's
coming
exciting.
Up pretty soon.
That one's at the pavilion, right?
Yeah, down at Fair Park.
Yeah,
with the big grass hill. General Mission. I love shows down there.
Great show. Yeah,
just put a blanket down, lay out there. It's going to be all kinds of hot. I don't know if it's going to be like strip down naked and jump in somebody else's pool hot. Okay, but
if someone were to have a portable pool on the lawn, all bets are off.
That concert will be one of those venues that proves the undeniable truth of life too. Like there'll be people that
concerts are one of the worst places for that, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
People just think they can get away with a lot more than they can really get away with. And
It makes for an interesting experience. That's for sure.
That's right.
So it was big music news. We're coming up on, we're just about out of time. But
There it is, yeah.
So hope everybody's had a good week. We will be seeing you here next week. And go to our Facebook page or go to the Twitter page for Snarky Parenthetical. Tell me what you like better, half hour, hour. Might end up doing some longer shows, change up the format, but want to hear from you. What do you like? Half hour, hour. Anyway, thank you, JPK Network. Thank you, Stan the Man and Brett. Y'all have a good weekend. We will see you next week.